Hi everyone, the PTR patch, the real PTR patch is now live and now we have access to this dancing vendor that's gonna give you cool stuff. As you can see here, you can get your character boost, you can get some mats here, you can get some equipment, Paragon and progression. And I got some new gear and we have found a new setup on Lightning Spear, which is probably a lot stronger than the previous version in Season 5 and even stronger than my previous Lightning Spear on the PTR where I was able to clear Pit100. But the most important about the real PTR is now we have access to the runes, the new runes here. We're gonna check that later. For the moment, we're gonna check the showcase with my new setup where I was able to clear the The Pit 100 under 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That was like very fast. There are some difference between this new setup, this new build compared to the previous one. On the previous one, you would never cast Frozen Orb. Now you have to cast Frozen Orb because we are using Starless Sky, and you wanna keep your Starless Sky proc by casting Frozen Orb from time to time. Also, we are using the new helm, so we are cutting off a lot of CGR, missing Shaco because the new helm doesn't have CGR. So now we are using Frozen Orb and we have to cast some Frozen Orb from time to time, since we cannot perma-cast Lightning Spear anymore. So this is the clear. As you can see, it almost looks like a Pit 100 in live. Everything just melts. This build right now is just so powerful. I don't know what they're gonna do with the build. They might just nerf it, or I hope not. I hope they would buff other build and make the game harder rather than just nerfing everything again. Because if they increase the difficulty of the game and they increase the other non-meta build, it's almost as the same as just nerfing. I think nerfing is pretty bad in general and people don't like the nerf. So just increase the difficulty of the game and buff some other non-beta builds so they can compete against this build. But yeah, as you might see here, there are some red aura explosion and green, and that's coming from the new runes. We're gonna check that after the showcase. I'm gonna go over the runes, the gear, the skill tree, and the Paragon. And already at the boss is gonna be like very fast. One stagger is enough, I think. The damage is just crazy. One stagger and he's dead. 2 minutes and 80 seconds for that. I also made a planner because my gear is not perfectly masterwork and it's very hard to get the gear from the PTR. We cannot get a GA unique on the vendor. We have very hard time to get a GA legendary also. So I made the build with what I could find, and this is the first version, the Shaco version of my previous video, and this is the new setup for the showcase you just saw. So we're gonna go over the runes quickly. What's the runes? Is the new mechanic introduced in Season 6. They call it Rune Sword, but to me, it's just there are runes that's gonna generate offering, and there are runes that's gonna use the offering that is generated to do something special. What you're gonna use on the helm is gonna be Yule. This is offering, and this is what you generate. The Yule offering is every time you're gonna cast a cooldown, it's gonna give you 50 offering. So you cast this, and it gives you 50 offering. Everything that is on cooldown give you 50 offering, and as you know, on Lightning Spear, you are almost perma casting cooldown here, as you can see. And this bar is filling up. So we're gonna pair Yule with And every time you reach 500 offering, you're gonna cast the war cry from the barb that's gonna give you more damage and more movement speed. It is here as you can see, and if you just cast some stuff, you're gonna get a perma war cry. And is that the red aura shouting? The shout of the barb. And as you can see, you already also have a green aura, and the green one is generated by Tam. Every time you cast a non-channel core skill, it's gonna give you 25 offering. So every time you cast a frozen orb, it's gonna give you 25. But that's not strong enough. The way it works is very strong because from your winter class, the conjuration that gonna cast frozen orb also gonna count for the runes, for this one, for Tam. And as you can see, the bar is filled super quick. You have it always 100% uptime, not 100 because what Yom does is every 500 offering, like the home one, 500, you gonna evoke the Druid Petrify. That's gonna be the green explosion. That's a green explosion. And the Druids Petrify, the green explosion gonna stun enemy and increase our critical damage against them. That's gonna synergize a lot with the splintering energy because it scale off your critical strike damage and you have 100% crit anyway. So that's how it works. You have perma Warcry and perma Petrify. The problem with Petrify is the green shout has 5-second cooldown, so you need the monster to be around to get the debuff for 3 seconds, then you need to wait 5 seconds, so you have 2-second downtime between every green shout, every green Petrify of the Druids. We're gonna go now quickly over the gear. We have Head of Perishing, that is the new helm. We're gonna use this helm now, like the critical strike chance is insane. You got 54 on only one item. That's almost gonna be enough to cap your critical strike chance to 100%. And we're gonna use the runes that I just mentioned, and it also give you 60% more damage, the legendary, the mythical unique passive. 60% more damage, give you some lucky hit chance to help with Frozen Orb cast, and yeah, this new helm is just insane. Then we're gonna use our classic raiment with the rune that I mentioned, Tam and Yom. This one is Petrified, this one is Warcry. Then regular glove, we're gonna go for intelligent attack speed. I think on my planner is critical strike damage because you are also already capped on the crit chance, I think. But you're gonna have the plan and description and all the details. We're gonna use frozen orbits, same principle to refresh your lightning speed faster like in the other version. Tempering, we're gonna temper immobilize to get stagger the boss faster, and critical strike damage for more damage. On the pants is the same. Now we don't use Shaco anymore, you need to cap your armor, so you're gonna temper armor and have an armor roll, and same, you're gonna have lucky hit chance to stagger the boss faster. On the aspect, we're gonna use Orange Herald to have perma unstable currents. On the boots, since we have maximum critical strike chance already, we're not gonna use SU anymore, we're gonna use Rakana to try to compensate the loss cooldown from Shaco. But we're also gonna have our resistance to all element capped. Yeah, like as you can see, without, it's very hard now to cap the all resistance, so that's just gonna solve all your resistance to element problem. On the staff, we use classical staff that we use to intelligence, max life, quick strike damage, critical strike damage temper too. On the temper got a shadow nerf, but it's not a big deal. If you remember, one master work on the temper from lightning speed double cast was enough to have 100%. Now the maximum you can get on 3 master work on perfect temper gonna be 88. So yeah, that's a little no, but it doesn't really matter with all the power creep we have from the runes and from the Paragon. This is classic Winterglass. You want to get cooldown reduction as much as possible, and Masterwork it's have 0.8. It was like the previous version, but now we're not gonna use Legendary Ring anymore. We're gonna use the Ring of Starless Sky because now you have to cast Frozen Orb because you can't keep spamming here, as you can see. You can't really keep spamming the spell, so you have a bit of downtime. So you have the time to cast some Frozen Orb to reach 30 Conjuration stack. Sometime on the boss, your Conjuration gonna fall down to 20, 23, as you can see here, sometimes it's lacking a bit. That's why you use Frozen Orb. So we're gonna use Starless Sky, that's gonna give you huge amount of attack speed, crit chance, lucky hit chance, 3 very useful affix for the build. And now we're also gonna use Tal Rasha because it got buffed. Now it's 25% damage. It goes up to 75. And we're also gonna need the cooldown that is lost from Shaco. And on the gems, we're gonna use Intelligent Gems on the pants and Skull on the free jewelry. As you can see, the cap now is 1,000 armor. We barely reached that with one roll and one temper and 3 skull here. We're gonna go now on the skill tree very quickly. We got regular fireball. Here we got charge ball because we have perma unstable current. That's gonna cast charge ball and that's gonna give you some DR. Here's some more DR. We're gonna have flame shield, very useful to not against one-shot mechanics. Teleports for mobility, ice armor, very important mystical one that give you more damage on staggered boss and frozen enemy. Ice blade that's gonna help you a bit on the cooldown, protection, lightning spear, our main skill, conjuration mastery for damage. Now you can use mana shield, like this is one of the best defensive passive you can have because you're gonna spend some mana now. So you're gonna have mana shield up, and that's gonna make you a lot more tankier. We're also gonna get ranks on familiar to get this one, invoked familiar, you're gonna get 10% more damage. And the familiar, you don't have it on the skill bar, but it's cast from unstable current, so it's 10% more damage. We're gonna get Icy Veil for more uptime, critic Devouring Blaze against burning enemy that are always burn, that's gonna give you a lot of damage. Frost give you more damage against frozen enemy and chill and staggered boss. Unstable current, now you can get ranks on unstable current that's gonna reduce the cooldown on unstable current, which is very useful now because sometimes Orange Herald is not working super well. Like as you can see here, sometimes it doesn't reset fast enough. So some ranking is very useful. This is the passive that everyone gonna use now, Evocation. Just free cooldown. This is Mondia, and this is the new key passive of the sock. That's the strongest key passive now. Every build gonna use this one. There is no reason to use something else. You have almost 100% uptime of it because the frozen orb that are cast by Winterglass gonna count as another spell. So every time you're gonna cast Lightning Spear, there is almost 100% chance that between two casts they're gonna be frozen orb. So you're gonna gain 15 stack every time you cast a lightning spear, then another 15 auto cast by frozen orb, so you just have it 100% uptime, as you can see here. It's going down very slowly. We can check quickly when we don't have it, how fast it goes here. Yeah, we already have it. It was probably less than a second. So that's it for the skill tree. For the enchantment, we're gonna use Fireball Enchant. Frozen Orb Enchant, we don't really use Ice Blade anymore because it's capped at 3, and every time you cast Frozen Orb, it has a chance to spawn an Ice Blade, and it's capped at 3 Ice Blade, and in general, you don't really need that extra cooldown anymore. And it's already capped at 3, so you cast a frozen orb and you might be at 3 ice blades, so the enchant is not really needed. I'm not sure which one is the best, I'm just trying out frozen orb enchant for the moment. But in any case, both are working pretty well. The Paragon is the same as in my previous variants. We can go over quickly. We have control here against staggered enemy. Since they nerf the boss HP now, it's very useful to take control because you kill the boss a lot faster. You can kill the boss in like 5 stagger now. So control is a big damage increase. The regular elemental summoner to help with lightning sphere. Here we go for enchanter for more damage. Frigid Fate for more damage with the new glyph eliminator that's gonna give you a lot of damage, but also gonna buff all your normal nodes. That's gonna give you like 499 intelligence. We're gonna take some nodes for damage and DR here. Destruction, that's gonna give you almost 1,000 critical strike damage. That is very huge for the build that scale with critical strike damage. And finally, Elementalist for even more damage, and this is the new legendary nodes. That's gonna give you 30% multiplicative for free because you always apply vulnerable burning and 100% crit damage. This is my stats. We should get 100%. Yeah, we can check that quickly. And yeah, that's it. I think I would recommend you to follow my Mobalytics link. The masterworking are a bit better than what I had, and you have a little bit more detail. You also have the full Paragon boards because right now in the game, I'm only level 247, so I'm missing 53 Paragon points. Yeah, that's the new systems, the Paragon level. You are now level 60 and you have 300 Paragon points, and I'm still missing Paragon points. So you should probably follow the planner on Mobalytic. And yeah, those are two versions. I think the head of positioned version is stronger than the Shaco, probably over 50% more damage, even though you're losing some cooldown reduction from Shaco, but that's gonna be compensated by the damage that we gain with Starless Sky and Tal Rasha. So yeah, the Paragon, the stuff, you got everything here. And I think that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed that build in the PTR, and I'm gonna update all this also when the season 6 gonna be live, so stay tuned and I will see you later.